Wanderers, welcome to the Wandering Dutchman podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Branded by Woods.
You don't have to run a famous podcast and need the help and expertise of our friends at Branded by Woods. Whether you're in charge of a local group needing shirts or run a business and need a fresh logo, Branded by Woods can help. Brand recognition is paramount in today's society. At the Dutchman, we've worked with Branded on multiple projects, from our first logo design to merch lines. We always find it easy and stress-free to work with the team at Branded by Woods. From initial design to final approval, the process is great. Give our friends at Branded by Woods a call and do something creative today.
The Wandering Dutchman podcast.
Where none of us are Dutch, but we all live in Holland, Indiana. Join us where we talk about what we all wonder about. This is the Wandering Dutchman podcast coming to you from Smoker's Lounge. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of a different intro there for me as we are kind of doing it without the sound. So the magic of editing is going to make it all sound normal, but it's hard to do the regular lead in. So we just went with that. Hello, friends.
Hello.
Today's episode is, again, brought to you by our friends at Branded by Woods. We just did a little golf work with them. We're going to release some more of that stuff as we go on. But we love working with our friends there at Branded by Woods. And we're excited to have you here. This is Friday's episode. We hope you enjoyed the Wednesday episode there. It was just Dave and I shooting the breeze. And if you noticed at the table, it's still just Dave and I shooting the breeze, which is kind of nice. It's actually an empty lounge, Dave, which I don't know when we've had one.
I don't even think the dog's in here.
Dogs aren't even in here. So that could have been that Wednesday's episode wasn't good, or the dogs are just tired too.
Yeah, I'm tired as well.
Everybody, I'm tired, boss.
Tired, boss.
I'm tired, boss. So anyway, so we're here. Dave and I are carrying the Dixie Girl. She's the loyal one. Dixie Girl's back here in the lounge. It's got 4 legs, but only uses 3. Oh, look at Dre. See, look at Dre knows.
Yeah, he knows what's
He's a good boy. He's a good boy. But anyways, big fella will be back from Arizona next week, so we'll be happy to get caught up with him and see what's going on. Some would think that I'm the next one to leave, but that's not going to happen. Homeward bound for quite some time. Yeah. So no plans of me leaving unless the good Lord calls me home. And if that's the case, God bless all of you. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve you, and we hope you enjoyed the show. But good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Ain't going to happen for a long time. So we'll be here. Excited just to get back to a little normalcy. I'm a big schedule guy.
Yep.
And kind of missed having the recording. Not that sitting down with our buddy Chase Bland wasn't fun.
It was a good interview.
It was a great conversation.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was a great conversation. Chase, a good dude. Tyler Nelson there working on it. And Brad Ohanian. Brad, here it is for you, pal. Welcome to the Dutchman Running Club. We're happy to have you.
Glad you're here.
Okay, can we get it? So don't fall off your elliptical when you're listening to this. But, Brado, you are a part of the family. You have been for a long time. So I hate that he questions that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in.
He's got a titled segment.
Yeah, he really does. It's Brado's 3 Big Things, brought to you by Merkley and Sons. Not now, but we will get to it
later.
So I had to 2 things before we jump into it a little bit further. First, and we missed it on Wednesday, and we've been gone a little bit, but there's a big best friend of the program going through a little battle right now. Happened to be involved in a motor vehicle accident.
Yep.
Don't want to name names, obviously, but we're not going to describe him like Big Fella would, where he gives away everything. But he's a best friend of the program.
Yeah.
Long name if you put the first name and the last name together.
Oh yeah, a lot of syllables.
Yeah, a lot there, but he's going through it, and we just hope he's doing well. Hope he's doing well and he's healing up. But we're thinking about you, buddy. We know you're in it, and you got them kids at home there. That's a big goal to get home to. But we hope you keep getting on the mend, and you're obviously in our hearts and on our minds as you recover. And lucky to be alive, so that's good. Somebody was looking out for him that day. But that's the first thing. The second thing, I stopped by the post office today. I had to take Rep Man down to Evansville for a doctor's appointment, and I was rolling through, and I needed to go to the post office. And our buddy Jill there at the post office was working, and we were chatting and talking away. And a couple of the lovely ladies that work up at the city hall stopped in, and we were chatting and discussing some things. And I said, hey, I was surprised to see the flag out front of City Hall at half mast. And she was like, oh, it was? I said, well, yeah, Big Mase has been gone all week. No, you guys are really... She started laughing. She started hee-hawing. And then I think there might have been a comment that, no, the street department's flag will be half mast when we come back to work on Monday.
I don't know.
The good news is he doesn't listen to the show. So
He did while he was gone.
Oh, what, did he?
He listened.
Yeah, he listened to the interview. Yeah, he listened to the interview, but he's not going to listen to this. So that was funny. We just stayed at the post office yucking it up. And I said, hey, I didn't realize you guys had the flags at City Hall down at half mast. She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, because Big Fella's been gone all week. She just started cackling. And I mean, like, without missing a beat, somebody, I'm not going to say who it was, but they were just like, no, the flag will be down at half mast Monday down at the street department when he comes back. So it'll be all good. We love the big fella. So big plans coming up this weekend?
Actually, no. We got a neighborhood wedding we're going to try to get to, Jen and I, but she has to work all weekend, so it kind of depends on how her work schedule goes.
So big plans. So neighborhood wedding.
Yeah, going to try to catch that if I can. Now that I'm back from vacation, I got to get
back again.
Got to get working on this pool project.
Smoker's back. Well, I tell you what, when I was out here with Dutchmen runner Chase Bland, I kind of looked over there at the lonely spot, and I thought, we get through this little stretch of rain here, it's going to get hot fast.
Yeah.
And you're going to want that pool up.
Well, Brother Love of Love Excavating, he's got plans to camp this week. So that was I didn't communicate it to anybody, but that's what I was going to do this weekend, was get the pool up.
Yeah.
But I need to get some sand dropped off, need some help with the pad, getting some things straightened out.
Let me ask you a question. So I've thought about getting one that we would take down every year, but like a bigger one, like above ground for the kids, because they love the water.
Sure.
So we'd get one of them ones that's probably, like, I think they make one that's like 36 or 38 inches high. Yep. Like it's a substantial amount more than like those little kiddie pools that you buy.
Floaty ring.
Yeah. So, but like I've gone to YouTube because that's a source for all that, and all these people do different things. Some people just do the sand, but then there's others that are like, hey, you need to put some blocks down where the weight's going to be because that's going to help support it. Like, but you want to put sand down, and then one of the guys was like, one of them uses like styrofoam and lays it down, and then I mean, really, realistically, all that is just to protect the bottom from everything.
So what was recommended with the pool that I got is sand down, blocks under all the feet. So you level the ground, put the blocks down, be sure all the blocks are leveled to one another and on the same. And then you put the sand in. And then on the last pool, I actually had this it was a lot thicker than weed paper, but it wasn't quite like thin carpet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they call it a ground blanket, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it's more for just weeds, and if anything decides to grow, it can't puncture the bottom of the pool. I've also seen where people take I might hit up Harbor Freight, but for the 27-foot pool, it probably costs more than I want to spend. But I've seen where people put like the interlocking fatigue mat stuff underneath.
Yeah.
And I thought about, because Harbor Freight will sell these 4 packs of little puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
But it's like an inch thick. I thought, that might be kind of cool to have as a bottom layer. But I got the thicker liner anyway, so I think I'm just going to run with it. My buddy Clyde from work, he put up one of those last year for the first time. And I think it was like a 36-inch. But he takes it down every year. His is a lot like actually what Brother Mase uses. Brother Mase just leaves his up and winterizes it and closes it. And that may be what Clyde does now, because when he was taking it apart, it's got like a metal tube frame, and then the liner kind of hangs from it, As he was taking it apart, he punctured the liner trying to take the frame out.
Oh.
So he was able to buy
a patch.
No, it was too big for that, so he just pitched it all. So he bought a new liner is what he bought.
Oh.
Because it was cheaper than... He thought he was going to replace it and buy a little bit deeper one now that his kids have grown a little bit more.
Yeah.
And they're more comfortable with it. But he just bought a liner. And I guess that was like $300. But the new pool is going to be like $500, so he just...
Yeah. I had thought about, Janelle and I thought about it last year at the end of the season when they were all on sale, and we didn't pull the trigger. But we had just thought about doing it. It would be something a little bit more for them to swim and play in. And, the bad thing with as small as those get, when we get to the hot of the summer, I don't know how refreshing it's going to be, but it's still got to be better than nothing.
You can get like an above ground that just stays up, and they're not that. If you're not buying a ginormous one, they're not all that much more than what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Just leave the dang thing up and.
Well, that's true.
Put a little deck around it. We can build a deck.
Yeah.
Just that way you can sit and watch the kids, not have to try to.
Well, the whole hope is I'm in there with the kids.
See, that's my concern. No, this isn't trying to poke fun or nothing.
Yeah.
But with those pools, the entry ladders aren't much.
A little iffy, huh?
Yeah. I mean, when you're a fella that carries the weight of the world on your shoulders like we do.
Yeah, that's true.
And then that's
what
what
is
I'm worried
that?
about.
Big backs? We're big backs?
Big backs.
We're big backs.
And then I worry more I guess if you're in there with them, that's a different thing. My concern was of having something like that and not being in with them, as if, heaven forbid, something would happen. I need to get in there quick. That was like the weak point of the strategy.
Yeah, and I guess the thing why I was hesitant about doing a deck or something like that where the kids could climb up was because where we live, we're off the road, so we let our kids roam.
Yep, just do what they want to do.
Let them roam quite a bit. We keep an eye, like, we haven't heard anything for a little while.
Yeah.
So
just let them be kids, though. Which is
and that was the whole thought was with the ladder, because you can pick the ladder up, put it in the pool.
Yep.
They're not going to be resourceful enough to go grab something to do it. Now with Zoe and Ryan, they're old enough to where
teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work, but also like, it's a little bit better too because, Zoe's pretty straight. They're getting into mischievous things together is a lot lower percentage than otherwise. So I don't know. We were just thinking about it, and it's just then it's kind of like, I know a bunch of people have pools, but the nice thing would have been is that they could both stand and play in it.
Right.
And in these other situations, they're hanging all over you. Zoe can swim a little bit, but
and that's gonna be the best part about this. So William's always in a life jacket unless we're like right there with him, but now he can swim pretty good. But I think this year he's grown enough.
Yeah.
Like the pool walls, I think on ours 54 inches, but the water level's probably around 48.
Yeah.
So even last year, he could stand in there,
tippy toe,
and kind of bob around, and he never was nervous about it. It's just I get nervous about it. Like you really can't stand.
Well, you hear all those horror stories.
Yeah.
Like that's a big that's a big thing. Like I couldn't like that.
That'd be not good.
Makes me sick thinking about it.
Yeah, because it don't take much to drown.
No,
but I feel better about it if you can like, hey, okay, well, stand up.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't freak out. Just stand up.
Yeah.
Just
do what's natural.
Put your little feet out. Yeah. Well, I saw it was a couple weeks ago, but it was a women's professional golfer. I guess this tournament they were playing at. It's a tradition to jump into the water off of 18, and she jumped in. She couldn't swim. You could see her like start to drown, and then somebody had asked her, however it came about, was like she didn't think it was that deep. So she jumped in, like you saw her run and jump in like it was just natural. And then like you could see like the panic start to come, and then they got her. I mean, luckily she didn't jump in by herself. There was two other people with her. But she was like, I thought it was deeper than what it was. And it's like,
grief.
God, that would be terrible. Win a golf tournament.
Imagine like if my fat ass can't swim, like the last thing I'm going to go do is jump in a body of water that I can't see through.
Oh. Yeah, it would be tough. So, anything else coming up?
No. So Mother's Day's this weekend in real time. Unfortunately, Mrs. Smoker has to work.
Well, I mean, she's been off basically 2 weeks.
Not basically 100%.
Yep. So, but I was trying to be politically correct about it.
But no. So, but we talked about it while we were on our trip. I'm like, hey, what do you want to do for Mother's Day? She's like, I think we've done enough here as far as spending money goes. Too much. She's like, we'll just do the regular all. She likes to get her new flowers for the year.
Yeah.
At Mother's Day. So we won't do that this weekend, obviously. I don't dare pick out flowers for her. So I'm sure
Smart
one of the days
move.
off next week, she'll go see her friends at Family Roots or something. And
yep. Get all set up there.
Get all set up, and then we'll spend a day doing that.
That's right. It is Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
It is Mother's Day. It's, since Mom's passed, it's like it's not necessarily like the Christmas and the Thanksgiving like it is, but then it's like these little niche, like Mother's Day, not that we did a ton of stuff, but it'd be a car. It just, it's different. It's weird. So any of those that, if your mother is still alive and you've not, AT&T actually has a commercial out, like make the phone call, like do that. Big proponent of it. Call mom.
Heck yeah.
If you have a female figure in your life that was a role model that was like a mom, like just as good, So, yeah, it is Mother's Day. And then when this comes out on Friday, we actually will be going to tackle a test with our buddy Teddy Hoops.
Second ever, see if we can bring home the W again.
Yeah, this is going to be deep field.
I've got the faith. I've been working out with Clyde, trying to find a time next week that he could golf after work, so I can get some licks in before we go, because I haven't golfed.
Golfed a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Yep, that'd have been the last time I golfed.
Yep. I think that would have been.
That was really the first time of the year.
Played at the Die. I guess it was a couple weeks last time I played too.
But so I played once since I've had the clubs regripped. That worked out pretty good. But I just need to get some time in. I need to remember to put the clubs in the truck. I'll probably spend a few days at lunch next week at the driving range. New driving range in Jasper is pretty nice.
Yeah.
So probably go hit that up at lunch a couple times. Like I want to help with something this year.
Yeah.
Maybe more than just one putt. I'm always good for one putt, but I'd like to think I can.
Yeah, it'll be
find
interesting
a
to see.
second hit we can use.
We really need to find one of our talented friends that does some video stuff, and we might as well just get some content out of it.
That would be sweet.
We'd have to figure out how to pull that off in a week.
That would be sweet.
It would be.
Should we just get like GoPros and attached to our chests?
Or in the golf carts, and then have somebody filming.
Wonder if there's like a 3 or 4 pack of GoPros, and we can just put one in each golf cart, and then one person from each golf cart wear one.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I bet the audio would be.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that. I mean, they
did
got.
Did Mase get his own lapel mics for an iPhone?
I don't know. I know we have those. I think you still have that stuff.
Yeah, it's in my office downstairs. But yeah, if we could figure out how to mic up
everybody,
people, and then
get a 4-channel. Could you do a 4-channel on a iPhone?
I don't know if they make one, but we could do 2 audio files from 2 phones, and
splice it together, make it work.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So in real time, or not in real time, in podcast time, we play on that Saturday, and that Sunday is Southridge's scholarship night. So the MFL Foundation be handing out a check, which is always fun to do. And then I'm leaving for Knoxville.
Oh, golfing.
Yeah.
Is this the same one that you got on?
Last year, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You lucky duck.
Yeah. We it'll be a blast. It was kind of cool how it came about. We were playing up in Bloomington for a scramble.
Right.
And the guy that organizes called and was like, "Hey, you guys coming down?" We're like, "I don't know. Are we being invited down?" He's like, "Sure." We were like, "Yep, we're in.
We'll be there."
We'll be there." So it's because I finally, like when you commit to stuff and then like it's like it becomes a future you problem.
Yeah.
I'm a big future you problem
Yeah.
guy, and so Tyler Jordan, who puts this scramble on for his brother would be about our age, passed away tragically young. And so he started this scramble. It's the Big R Classic. And so he uses it to raise money for scholarship as well. And he had talked about it, and he does a great job with it. And Tyler helps me out at the resort a ton. And so I was like, we got together because we haven't played since we dominated the Velpen Disposal Open. Shout out. Well, I guess it's not even a traveling. Well, there's no trophy anyways, but the pride of it, just to say we conquered the Velpen Disposal Open.
How to get a tattoo.
Yeah, there we go. We all get Velpen tattoos. Chops would probably pay for that.
Yeah, I bet he would.
But we, so, it'd been a while, and I was like, Tyler, because I saw where he had some openings, and like I said, he does a lot for me at the resort. I was like, hey, we'll come up and play. He's like, yeah, sure, yeah, I got room for you. And so then, like, fast forward, like the time comes up, and I'm like, oh, I haven't told Janelle yet. And then there was a rain out of Rhino's T-ball game, so it moved. So he's got a game that day, and I was like, that's where I was like, shit. It's the last one over at the Y. And I was like, damn it. And then, you know, it's just one of those deals that internal, and I had to come clean, like, to Janelle, like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, I'm going to miss. Like, I'll call somebody to FaceTime when he's hitting. You know, I'll talk to him afterwards. But then head to Knoxville Sunday night, play golf Monday, come back Tuesday. And then I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I may be sitting down with another friend of the program on May 21st to talk a little baseball on the air.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, so Janelle will be thrilled by that when I get home on the 20th. And then, but it'll all work out. Don't worry about it. It'll all work out. So last little spurt of freedom before lockdown comes. But, hey, that's what we got going on. Before we get into the rest of the episode, we're going to take a quick break, brought to you by Hopf Outdoor Power.
May is Military Appreciation Month at Hopf Outdoor Power. They are honoring our local veterans by partnering with Boot Campaign and giving away a pair of Reebok Nano X1 or Garment T8 tactical boots to a local veteran. All you have to do is visit one of 3 Hopf Equipment or Hopf Outdoor Power locations, show proof of military service, complete a simple registration, and you're set. Drawing is May 30th. We love when local businesses give back, and at the Wandering Dutchman, we support the troops and veterans in our community. That's why we love Hopf Outdoor Power. Thank you, Hopf Outdoor Power. Veterans, do your thing. Sign up today.
All right, and we're back. Brother Dave, what's on your mind?
Well, this is a pretty lame topic, but I've been kicking this around in my head for a couple weeks, and I think I'm having the most trouble with it. It's a double-fold problem here. One of the issues is our logo. The other issue is the time I put in. But I've really been thinking about going back to the Fu Manchu for the summer.
Really?
Yeah, but our logo's got me full bearded, and this is a shitty beard. This isn't a nice.
No, it's a good beard.
I mean, it's an okay beard, but it took a long time to grow in. It looked real shitty for a long time until it was just enough to be like, okay, it can pass for a beard now.
Yeah.
So I'm real hesitant to shave any of this off, but I'm thinking that I kind of miss my. And I guess even when I had my Fu Manchu, I left my beard in. I just shaved my chin, so I had the. So it wasn't a real Fu Manchu. But I've been thinking if I do it, I'm going to leave I'm going to run the bars down my, down my chin. But I don't know. I just can't bring myself to do it yet. And Jenna, she's not a huge fan of the Fu Manchu, but I am.
I wish you'd bring the long hair back. Not super long, but where you could have a slight ponytail, Dave.
That took a long time, too. And I think it'll come back someday. I was actually thinking that. I was looking through pictures trying to find the Fu Manchu last time I had it. Maybe while I was down on vacation, I guess, trying to see how long it's been.
It's been a while.
A long while, because I started growing my hair out, and it wasn't really intentional, but it ended up being COVID is when I started growing my hair out. But Jenna always cuts my hair. She always has, until it got long, and then I'd go down and see somebody because she does real good with the fade, but it was just new territory.
She's one-trick pony. We call our buddy Mick Ublor, Mick Blends.
But I was thinking about that, too. Like, maybe even not ponytail Dave, but long enough to hang over the edge of my bandana,
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah, I think, when you look at that logo, you realize how spot on it fits our personality.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you go Fu Manchu, like, it's okay. Like, it's, everybody recognizes that.
I don't know how long it'll take to grow back, but I thought maybe I'd just be like a summer Fu Manchu guy, and then, somewhere around October, September, maybe just stop shaving at my birthday, middle of September, hoping it'll be back to keep me warm for the
Wintertime. And it's not a dull topic, because I saw, I don't know what it was. It might have been like a spoof, but they were talking about how neck beards are back. And it had like this lineup of like 20 pictures of like straight up like chin and below for neck beards. And I was just like, I don't think that's back. I don't think it was ever in.
No, I don't think
is it at all. But because I had a really gnarly one this winter. Like my beard was, And I had never ever let
Grizzly Adams, like it was amazing.
I had never ever like letting it gotten to that point. And then I have such a, like, I'm very fortunate that like I am a baby-faced son of a bitch. Like I am very much like the facial hair has, well, now that I'm bald, like the facial hair is like a very essential part of it. But I felt like the beard just kind of gave me that little bit of like, I don't know what's the word I'm thinking of, but just kind of that like, hey, looky there, like that's a handsome devil with a big beard.
Yeah, rugged.
Yeah, that's what it is. Kind of that man that like these women that read these smut books.
Yeah,
that they're always like, oh, what are you reading, honey? Oh, nothing. It's boring.
Yeah, never.
And
I
then,
imagine it never goes. He put his baby-faced cheeks between my thighs.
Yeah, no, it's Grizzly Adams did have a
Yeah.
beard.
Hell yeah.
And so I felt like, I really was spot on there with it. And I shaved for baseball. And like when I did it, I was like, my God, like such a baby face. And I realistically like have like a round face to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think like with a longer beard, it takes away like now my face doesn't look like I got hit with a frying pan, but you can tell like when you go short beard, like it's still.
Well, I'm worried about the double chin situation because I haven't seen it in a long time, and I don't want to like get rid of it and find out
it's still there and it's gotten
like
better.
Fat bastard, and it's just flapping down here like
I forget what big fella calls it. I don't know.
Is not a gobbler, but
giblet. No,
close.
It's something like that.
Yeah, not gizzard either. It's
gullet. No. Gollywomper.
Gollywomper.
We got that gollywomper there. But I don't know. It's I support, and we joke about it at the middle school baseball level, that like guys growing mustaches, and it's like we just have fun with it. But I mean, dude, if you're like a 13, 14-year-old kid and you can grow a dirty stash, like that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like you're the envy. Now your mom ain't gonna like it.
Yeah.
But
your buddy's mom might.
Yeah, and you're becoming a man, son. But I always get that question, like, when was the last time you were clean shaven? And it's the last time like I didn't have like a beard when I played rugby my last year of law school. We all shaved into Fu Manchus. And that was probably the last time that there was no hair on the side of my face. But like even, I don't know. I love it. I love having a beard because there's a little bit of like, I can grow a beard and you can't. And it's just one of those things. That's my problem
because I couldn't grow a beard till I was like mid-30s. Like this is a pretty new thing. But I also find like I'm a beard stroker, I guess.
Yeah.
I find myself pondering things, and I'm afraid what if it takes another year and a half to come back? I don't know what I can.
You're gonna rub your chin raw.
Yeah,
people are gonna think you've been busy.
Gonna really have my golly.
Your golly whopper's gonna be all redneck. I don't know. I mean, my dad has a beard. I've always known him to have a beard, and I just have grown up with him. Like I think it's one of those weird things too. Like you're either in.
Yep.
Or you're out on facial hair. Like there's very few people that run that fine line.
And I think we're in a time. Like I think it's also a social thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the 90s, I don't think beards were as...
Well, it's funny you bring that up. So for those of you keeping score at home, yours truly finished marketing this semester. 101% A.
Attaboy.
Yep. But we did a case study on Gillette, the best shave a man can get.
Yeah.
And they were talking about there's been some research done on the change in the workplace in regards to facial hair.
Yep.
So used to having a beard was almost a sign of laziness in corporate America. Like you're clean shaven every day. Yep. Like that's what you do. And that has slowly faded and changed over time to where beards are more acceptable in the workplace. So it's actually a real thing.
Yeah.
There's actually some quantifiable data to suggest there has been a change. But if you think about it, back in the day with, like even WW1, WW2, you get into Korea, like those guys that had gone to war, it was clean shaven.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you had to do. The military had that policy. Well, those people come back, and guess what they continue to do? Shave, because that's what's being ingrained to them. And now you don't have it as much. Just a theory, but I don't know if it holds water.
Fan of the program, neighbor down there in Honolulu, Joe Ellis. I remember when he finally was done with his stint in the
Marines.
Like, that was one thing he was telling us. Man, I'm glad to be able to have a beard again.
Yeah.
Because he just never kept one because he always had to stay clean shaven for that. So I think he just stayed shaven all the time.
Yeah, it's a real thing. But Dave, I support whatever decision you try to make.
We'll see what happens. I mean, you never know. I'm looking forward to some time off here this summer. I know I just had a week-long vacation.
I was going to say, pal, you just got back.
But I'm ready for a long weekend somewhere without any plans, or hopefully very limited plans, like just to hang around the house. Those are normally the days I'm like, you know what? Today's the day.
Just going to do it.
Just going to do it.
Well, when I shaved my head, it'll be 5 years ago in December, which is wild that I know that, but it coincides with me starting at the resort. I just picked a date. Like, it was either December 27th or 28th, because the only thing Janelle said was, don't do it before Christmas. And I said, okay, I can do that. So December 27th or 28th, I think it was.
There was a good amount of time there, probably not a good amount of time, probably 2 or 3 months, a whole summer, maybe part of the winter or the spring into the summer, that I was clean shaving my head every other day. Sometimes I wonder about that, going back to that, because I feel like my hair is kind of thinning. That's another reason I cut my hair. Just brushing my hair and everything in the morning, getting ready, seemed like it was falling out of it, because my hair is real curly, and then when you brush it, I pull a bunch out.
Ooh.
And my dad, he had a real thin spot up top. Both my grandpas had the horseshoe thing going on.
Yeah.
I was like, gosh, dang it! Not like I'm speeding the process up here, just ripping it all out.
It's coming for you. Yeah.
So there was a time I was thinking, I'm just gonna shave it all off. To hell with it. I ain't gonna be bald, or have the island or anything. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, that's what mine started, because everybody's like, well, why don't you use Rogaine or whatever? Well, male pattern baldness is in the back. Mine was thinning out up front, and just recently had started back here, because I could still probably grow a full head of hair outside of those spots, but I had just grown it long enough where I just combed it over all the time. And that's
now,
just,
I think that's when he started getting the same thing kind of up here, and I'm going to cut his name out. But I think that he was saying he talked to his barber and a couple of different people, and a doctor, and they said, well, you're too late. It's already gone. But apparently if you catch it thinning at those points, hey, it's starting to recede back, that stuff even on the front can work. But once it's not there, it doesn't bring it back.
Yeah,
it just kind of prolongs the...
Yeah. That
slows
ship,
down the death. Yeah.
That ship had sailed, and I'm okay with it. So, hey, we support whatever facial hair decisions you want to make.
This is America.
Whether you're a man or a lady.
Yeah, that's right.
If you're a lady.
Bearded lady, had a whole lot of clout back in the...
I think that would be a great bar name. The Bearded Lady. Yeah. Think about the merch you could get off that. Think about it. Hey, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, brought to you by Southern Indiana Hardwood.
Mayday, mayday! No, we aren't going down on a plane, but your old pellet smoker isn't cutting it anymore. Nick Merkley in Southern Indiana Hardwoods is ready to help you. Whether it's a new Green Mountain grill or pellets, Nick has you covered. Skip the box stores where they sell cheap products and even worse service. Nick services what he sells and will even make house calls in and around the DuBois County area. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Nick at Southern Indiana Hardwoods today.
All right, we're back. It is grilling season, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
That old pellet smoker out there ain't doing it.
Nope.
Time to move on. Go see our buddy over there. You can buy something a little, cheaper at the box store, but it ain't going to come with that kind of service.
Hell no.
No.
Nick will take care of you.
Yeah, he will. He definitely would. He's good people. He's what we like to say, good people. Here's what I was wondering about. So it was during Lent, because it was a Friday. I went grocery shopping in Evansville, and I stopped at Sonic. don't go eat at the Sonic in Jasper for some reason. I don't know why. Don't go over there. But every once in a while I'm in Evansville. There's one on North Green River as I'm coming out of town. And I stopped in. They have cherry limeades. And I like a good cherry limeade.
Sure.
It's a good drink. And then, of course, I got fish and some tater tots. I like tater tots every once in a while. But it got me thinking, and this is a two-part wonder. Like, is there a fast food place that's not in the regular rotation that you do like getting to every once in a while? Like, we try not to eat it too much. Like, too much fast food's a bad thing.
Sure.
But every once in a while, it's a necessity. And, like, I would say my regular rotation is probably, like the ones we have in town. Subway, McDonald's, Wendy's. Probably, like, I would even say Wendy's has gone more out of the rotation just because McDonald's is right there.
Sure.
It's quicker. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like Wendy's, you'd spend 15 minutes in the drive-thru, and I've not had that experience yet at McDonald's. So that's probably the regular rotation. But I do enjoy Dairy Queen in town a lot. Get that flamethrower burger. I really like it. And then Arby's is in there every once in a while. But like Sonic, White Castle, like they're in that rotation. And if it mood hits, I strike. But I didn't know, like this first part, if there's one that's like not in the rotation, but like.
So I love White Castle. Jenna hates it, so I don't ever get it.
That's a shame.
I bring it up every time I see it. She's like, no, we're not going there.
We could leave right now and drive to White Castle.
Oh, man, that'd be all right. Yeah, so White Castle's one I like. Another one that I don't go to too often. I haven't been in years, honestly. Because anymore, I don't do fast food too much. If I do, it's Subway or Arby's.
Yeah.
My kind of every once in a while is the old MacD's.
Yeah.
Normally that's like if I'm in a hurry and it's also cheap. Like with the app, I can, $5-6 and I got lunch.
Keep
covered.
it pretty good there.
But one that I miss a lot, and I used to eat a lot in high school for breakfast, was Hardee's.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's still any good or not, but you used to get the crispy crowns
Yeah.
and biscuits and gravy, and that was always pretty on point for fast food.
I mean, I think the Hardee's in Jasper does. I didn't even think about Hardee's. They got a Frisco burger. It's like one of their third-pound burgers. I always was a big fan of that.
So I went there a lot in college. They had one in there, and it was the reason we started going is you could go through the drive-thru at Hardee's and Vincennes, get your sandwiches or whatever, but you could ask for a bag of ice, and they would sell you like a 16 or 20-pound bag of ice for $1.
Really?
Yeah. So we'd do that if we have a keg party. We'd all go down and get dinner at
Hardee's and a bag of ice.
5 bags of ice to put on the cake.
Yeah.
And it was $5. It was cheaper than what it was to go get it at the gas
Now,
station.
nowadays, we go to Celebration
You
Ice.
damn right we do.
Yeah, Celebration
That's why I
Ice.
haven't been to Hardee's.
Yeah.
But
Unless he sells Celebration and Ice at Hardee's, and then we'll be back. We'll be there.
yeah, I'd say those are my two. Like I there's not a time that I wouldn't want to go unless going back to last week's conversation, if I was heading to the airport to fly somewhere, I would not eat White Castle.
No.
But if I'm just gonna be
Around.
heading home, what sounds good? The last time I had White Castle, Jenna and I and 2 of her girlfriends went to see Jelly Roll down in Evansville.
Yeah.
And luckily, I won the vote because the other passengers were like, oh, yeah, White Castle, because they were all drunked up too. So we hit the White Castle drive-thru, and I hadn't been. That was probably like I didn't think you could make the night better after seeing
Jelly Roll.
until we hit up White Castle, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could die now, and I'd be okay with it.
We there was a semester at UE that when that White Castle was put in, because we had White Castle, but it was like the closest one, like Cordon, Jeffersonville area, like eating it a few times, like with mom and dad, like we were on the road,
Yep.
and let's get a stack slider, that kind of stuff. They put the one in at Evansville. And so what we got smart about is we had some guys around us that didn't drink. And if you bought their dinner, they'd take you, that late
Sure.
night. Because, like, you can only have Taco Bell so many times at night.
Absolutely.
You can only have rallies.
Man, Taco Bell.
I know. You can only have rallies
Rallies.
so many
Dang it,
times at
chili-
night.
cheese dog.
Oh, those fries and a large Coke. Like if I had a bad day in court, like that was a stop. I'd get a large Coke.
There's a Rallies in Jasper, isn't
Yeah,
there?
large
Good
Coke,
grief.
large fries. Now there could be a client in there working or a former client working.
That's fine.
You know, hey, how's my case going? Yeah, we're working on it. You'll be all right. Hey, I threw a couple extra fries in the bag for you, my guy. But so we started going to White Castle on the east side of Evansville from UE's campus. And at that time of night, you could shoot down Green River,
sure.
no problem. And so, as you can wonder, I've never met a stranger. Like, I'm a big, hey, how you doing? Like, and that leads to conversation about everything else. So the guy that was the night manager, we became friends. And so there was a stretch, like any night I was drinking that ended in a good night, we were going to White Castle. And this was when they were open 24 hours. So you roll in like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and this was when like the inside dining was still open that late. Like, fast forward to think about that with COVID.
Yeah.
And so I befriended this guy, and we'd go and
We've talked about this guy.
yeah. And that was the whole semester. And I remember when I went for my physical that year, because I've always, God bless my mother, she was a big proponent. You need to do a yearly physical, get your blood work done. And like I came home to get it done, and I was like, I'm nervous about this, Mom. And she's like, why? And I was like, I've eaten White Castle probably 3 or 4 times a week for a semester. And she's like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. And my blood work was the best it ever been.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. But like White Castle's in there. So that, because there's so many fast food, like Culver's, like I've had it a couple times.
Yep.
It's always been good.
Yep.
But like I drive by
Got
it,
one
not
of
think
those in
anything of
Jasper
it.
now, too.
Yeah.
I forgot.
They've
I've
got-
not ever had the one in Jasper.
They've got about damn near everything. You mentioned Taco Bell. Not a fan. Like I'm just,
We had Taco Bell the night before we flew out to Punta Cana because it was right down the road from the
airport
hotel we stayed
in the
at.
hotel. But like my thing on Taco Bell, like people treat it as a meal. To me, like it's the ultimate snack. And that's how I look at
We
it.
had supper before we left, and I told Jen, I was like, I kind of want to eat something. So I want to be sure I have a good morning constitutional, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, because I'm not going to sleep good anyway. I don't have to poop on a plane. She's like, well, you want to go get Mexican? I was like, I really want to go get McDonald's. I was like, get a quesadilla, 3 of them Supreme soft tacos. She's like, I could probably get a cheesy fiesta potatoes
Yeah.
and a Crunchwrap Supreme. And I'm like,
Yep. That's what we're going to do. And a good Baja Blast every once in a while.
yeah, hell yeah.
But it just is. I don't know. But so that got me thinking about if you could build your perfect meal, drink, sandwich, side from all of those fast food options, what would it be? And you can have more than one.
McDonald's Coke leaded.
Oh yeah, that's a good start.
That'd be the drink. Tell you the truth, and I've been disappointed depending on the facility, but I love a Whopper. Like, that's a great burger for me.
I've only eaten at Burger King maybe once or twice in my life.
Really?
Not
I
a
worked there
Burger
for
King
a
guy.
while, and I just always liked the Whopper a lot. I don't ever get it. Nobody in my family likes it now, so I don't go.
Never. I have, when I'm telling you the last time I ate at a Burger King, might have been in college because a guy that lived at the house, this one Burger King in Evansville on like Tuesdays or Thursdays did like $1 Whopper Juniors or like $2 cheeseburger, like whatever it was, where it was like you couldn't pass up going and getting 4 or 5.
Gosh, you remember the
Eating a
5
couple.
for $5 at Arby's back in the day?
Oh, yeah. Gosh, things have changed.
Yeah, what a shit place to live.
So you got McDonald's, Coke, Whopper Burger.
Yep.
What's your side?
Well, since I'm fat and everybody knows it, I'd probably do those chicken rings from White Castle.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Those are a good little snack, too.
Yeah.
I'm going either McDonald's Coke or a Sonic Cherry Limeade. Burger-wise, this is where there's a handful of them that I could go with. I'm a big fan of Rally's Big Buford.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like a Rally's Big Buford. I also like a Sonic cheeseburger. But I'm not going to lie. like a classic McDonald's double quarter pounder is right there on the menu for me. And then side-wise, I love onion rings, like if they're cooked right. So like Dairy Queen here in town, they'll do onion rings pretty good. But I also can't say that I wouldn't put Arby's curly fries in there.
I was on the fence. Arby's curly fries or the chicken rings, but White Castle's on the brain.
If you had to add one more thing, like what about a dessert from any of those places?
I'm not a huge dessert guy, but if I was going to have something, a sweet treat, it would probably be a mint Oreo blizzard.
Mint Oreo blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
Banana milkshake from Rally's.
Ooh, solid.
That used to be one back in the day, like college. When you go out, you grab a big Buford, some chili cheese fries, and a banana milkshake.
Man, so at the airport, I just about texted you guys, but it was midnight. No, it wasn't. That's a lie. It was probably 9:30. But I went through, and one of the options in the terminal there that we were in was Chick-fil-A. So I ordered a spicy, it's like number 2, a spicy chicken sandwich deluxe, but they didn't put anything on it other than the chicken. But I got a large fry spicy chicken sandwich and a strawberry shake at Chick-fil-A. And
I'm a big shake guy at those places.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about Chick-fil-A on the menu. But I love a good burger.
Yeah.
Like I'm not just a chicken all the time guy.
Yeah, that to me there's two options. That would have had to been a question, like if you're doing chicken.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we could go that route. So we both went burgers there.
Yeah. Like honestly, chicken sandwiches that just don't disappoint me. I like a McChicken, just add some tomato on there.
A McChicken with tomato.
Mm-hmm.
Does McDonald's have tomato?
Yeah, you wouldn't know it, but Jenna turned me onto that. So she orders with tomato and
a McChicken with tomatoes.
Yeah. Spicy now, not a spicy McChicken with tomato. That might be okay too, but therefore, can you even get a spicy McChicken anymore?
I think they do it as a limited time thing.
Yeah. But I like a buffalo chicken whenever I can. You like a spicy chicken?
Yeah, I would say, Wendy's spicy chicken with that lettuce and tomato mayo. Like that's a tough one to pass up.
Yeah.
That's I think where I would go. Now, when I go to Chick-fil-A, it's always a spicy chicken deluxe.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll even just get an extra filet to snack on before I get to the main meal.
Heck yeah.
Protein. Get my protein.
Yeah, that's right.
There we go. Hey, as now, hopefully if you're listening to this at lunchtime, good luck on choosing where you're going to go. But it's time. Our buddy, Brad Ohanian, this is his section that he participates and does every week. Doesn't miss a week. Even though we don't, sometimes when we miss shows, we don't tell him, hey, we're not doing a show. But he is probably the most consistent employee. He's not an employee, but consistent content contributor to the program.
Yep.
So we appreciate that, Brado. That's another compliment for you. So just know you're safe here. You're safe here. We actually, if you look, his logo, silhouette is down there.
Yeah, it's
down there.
It's May, and summer is on our heels. It means nice days, cookouts, and Memorial Day is right around the corner. This also means you don't have to suffer silently at these joyous occasions with subpar meats. Always and forever, Merkley & Son should be your go-to for seasoned patties, hot dogs, franks, and their wide selection of brats and other grilling and smoking items. They're the ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts for a reason.
3 big things for the week of May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Did you say that to anybody?
Yeah.
You loser. Baseball fan hospitalized after scary fall. The unidentified man, who's now been identified, fell from the 21-foot right field wall and onto the field at PNC Park in Pittsburgh during the 7th inning of the Pirates and the Cubs game. Players from both teams took a knee while medical personnel attended to the injured fan. Obviously, T's and P's with this man and family, but it really is remarkable that this doesn't happen more. Have the Dutchmen ever seen any close calls at stadiums?
I don't think I have.
Brado, when you're us, you don't roll in regular seats like commoners. You sit in the suite, buddy. The boxes. I will say, as a kid, we went to Busch Stadium, Old Busch Stadium. So I've been to Old Busch Stadium and New Busch Stadium. I wish it'd float off into the Mississippi, both of them. But Old Busch Stadium, as a young kid, we were sitting in the second level. We went as a family. I think we even toured Anheuser-Busch and all that stuff. Like it was cool. It was a good trip.
Sure.
And we went to a game, and there was a drunk guy a couple rows in front. And if you remember Old Busch Stadium, like it was like you're climbing a mountain. Mm-hmm. And I felt uneasy, like walking down. And he was up and down. And I think he was maybe like a row or two back from the railing. But that stuff freaks me out. Like makes me nervous. Like I just don't.
Right.
Like it does. I've never seen any close calls. But man, I laugh the hell when these people go to top golf and end up on the net, trying to swing. But that's a scary fall situation too. But yeah, have you seen the video of this guy? Mm-mm. I mean, he takes a straight like header like off, and luckily like he flipped and he landed on his back and not on his head.
Good grief!
But I think he broken back, like a bunch of other things going on. Man. But he's got a long road. Teen completes brutal swim across New Zealand's Cook Strait. Californian Maya Merhigi, 17, suffered thousands of jellyfish stings during the 14-hour, 27-mile swim crossing the Cook Strait, which separates New Zealand's North and South Islands. Is just one more step toward her ultimate goal, becoming the youngest person to complete the Ocean's 7, a series of brutal open water swims around the globe. Holy crap. I don't know what is more impressive, the swim or withstanding thousands of jellyfish stings. By the way, who's the best swimmer of the Dutchmen? It's probably me for sure.
Yeah, I'm not a strong swimmer. I'm a good floater.
Yeah.
But I'm not a strong swimmer.
I'm a swimmer. I'm not a swimmer. Like, that's came out wrong. I am not, like, out of everybody, if we were going to go swim laps, I'm probably the better swimmer. And I've swam open water, too, so I've had that experience. But I didn't know this was a real thing, and I didn't know the Ocean's 7 was a good thing. Why can't this person be like a normal 17-year-old?
I'm actually pretty happy to hear that there's a 17-year-old that's doing that.
Some youth getting after it?
Yeah. Like a few years ago, there was some 17, 18, 16-year-old kid that was sailing around the world or something by his or herself, I remember.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
What do you think spawns that thought of, I'm going to go for a swim and do this? Because if California, she probably lives on the coast, so probably used to, like, grew up swimming in the ocean, I assume.
I would reckon.
So there's a comfort level with it.
But just trying to find a complicated and something that things, I don't know, that's cool to me that there's young people trying to, conquer a task and not a
At some point,
trend.
Do you think, like, the jellyfish stings didn't even bother?
Probably.
Like, you go numb to it, I would imagine.
I would say 14 hours in the water and swimming, kind of listening to Chase recount his story, and at the end of the Boston Marathon, how you're just kind of out of it because you're so mentally drained and don't know what's going. I'm paraphrasing, but he said something along those lines in Friday's episode, I think. I imagine that had something to do with it. I imagine at some point you're just on autopilot and your body's just doing what it has to do to
I would
to
imagine.
stay alive.
We probably ought to look up some pictures of that because I'd say that probably gnarly.
Yeah, for sure.
But it depends on the jellyfish, right? Because isn't there one that's like super, super bad, like the Man of War or something like that?
And now that you're saying it, that sounds like something I've heard before.
So, like, there's a difference because those are like purple-headed guys.
Now, you would think, though, if you're doing that, you're probably in like a full bodysuit, aren't you? You're probably not out there swimming it in like a singlet.
It depends on what sets up for this to count because some of those suits provide buoyancy
I got you.
to where you almost float on top of the water.
Okay.
So that's what, from some of the experience with triathlon stuff, those guys love when you can wear bodysuits because there's a buoyancy factor to them. Makes you faster on the swim.
Okay.
So, like, if this is done to officially do it, may not be able to.
Yeah.
Might have been just a regular swimsuit.
Gotcha.
Maybe not like a singlet in the traditional sense, but not like
not a full bodysuit.
not a full bodysuit. Tennis legend ousted from U.S. Open pickleball match. Andre Agassi, pro pickleball Andre's debut come to an end. This week, Agassi, 55, and his 18-year-old partner, Anna Lee Waters, the number 1 ranked player in the world, lost to Lin Yang and Trang Hoon McLean. Didn't see that coming in 3 sets. Okay, I got to know, where do the Dutchmen fall on this pickleball phenomenon? And for the record, Brado's out on pickleball.
Never played. I know some people that do play. There's some guys at work that play on the weekends, and I'm not anti pickleball. I'm not pro pickleball, but it seems neat. There's a couple places in the neighborhood that have it set up and painted on the floor in their shop, so they can pull everything out, set the net up, and play. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm not in or out on it either way. I've never played. I would imagine if I started playing, I would love it. But I think it's nice that an outdoor recreational activity was created from something to give something else for people to do. Because I know, like, there's a lot of older folks that play pickleball. So, like, I'm all in on that. It's kind of like cornhole came from, pitching horseshoes. Not everybody, you can't take a horseshoe pit with you.
Right.
Not everybody can have a tennis court in their backyard.
Right.
But if you got a poured garage floor, like, you could have a pickleball court in here.
I think it's a little short.
Yeah. I mean,
even long ways.
Width-wise, you're good. But, yeah, you would need a little bit more north-south. But I think, like, it's good. Now, what I will say, if you had a bunch of pickleball courts, like some of these areas have built, and you listen to the tick-tock of back and forth, could drive you nuts because it's quite loud. That's probably the toughest thing the pickleball community has going for it right now.
I got you.
So I think Huntingburg Parks Department, they're putting one in there by their tennis courts. I think Jasper's got some.
Yeah.
I know the resorts got a couple sets. So
that's for folks that work. There's a place over there in Jasper at one of the parks.
Yeah, a lot of people play it. I think even West Baden put some in their park.
Yeah.
So, hey, anything to get people out being active. So, Brado, thank you. And, of course, big thank you to Merkley and Sons. A big part of the show, too.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
we appreciate it. It's now time, though, for this show to come to an end. And we got some final thoughts brought to you by The Rugged Foot.
We were happy to have Rugged Foot join the Dutchmen family last month and are even more excited they are here again in May. Rugged Foot does more than just safety toe, work boots, and rubber boots. They also have hiking boots and other casual footwear for lounging or for work. Don't forget, Rugged Foot also does leather repair. Mike helped Esquire patch a torn loophole on his favorite pair of golf shoes just last year. Stop up and see the Rugged Foot store on 4th Street in Huntingburg today.
All right, Brother Dave, what you got?
Nothing awe-inspiring. Glad to be back. I'm glad for Brother Mase to be back next week. I think we're getting to where we're knocking on the end of the last few weeks of baseball season, probably. Looking forward to summer break. It's my time of year. It's just everything slows down a little bit for a couple months, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, because it's, I will say this, it's, you've had kids in school. Obviously, our oldest will be a second grader, just like your youngest.
Yep.
And it is, the school year is definitely a lot busier.
Sure.
And especially in the springtime, the commitments of baseball, softball, t-ball, there's a lot more going on. And I think last year we talked about we need to be better planned for the spring.
Yeah.
And like all good things we try to do,
It just
didn't happen. Big thank you first, Branded by Woods, for coming on this month. Obviously, we've utilized them. They've helped us a lot. They designed the original logo. Kind of really helped us get that vision going of what the Wandering Dutchman would be branding-wise. Hopf Outdoor Power, The Rugged Foot, Merkley and Sons, Southern Indiana Hardwoods, all great, good people of the community. We appreciate their support, so support them. Don't forget, we don't do it enough, but, if you like the show, rate, review, comment. That helps us with everything. Share it with your friends. We got a few diehards that share. They share it all the time. We appreciate that. That gets it to other people's looks and eyeballs, because we do have a pretty good thing. I was in Sam's Club. Friend of the program, Matt Wagner, walked by and kind of did that Dutchman. Yeah, what's up? And I recognized him. You know, he's a bald guy, so he's easily recognizable, and he comments on a lot of stuff. So it was good to see him. And, you know, the kids didn't care, but my wife's like, celebrity, you know? Like, here we are at the Sam's Club meat aisle area and getting recognized. But that's cool. So, Matt, appreciate your support. Appreciate you listening. And we received friend of the program, Corey Colley and Matt, sent that video from a different Ubelor, Nick Ubelor, fishing at Beaver Lake. We have possibly been able to track down possible ownership. We don't know exactly who it was. Now, we hope they weren't upset and threw our koozie with an empty beer in it out. I'm more hopeful that they got off the pontoon drunk and it fell because they were having a good time.
Yep.
So if you're the owner of that koozie and you're missing one, reach out. We'll get you another one. Like, don't have to worry about that. But we added that clip on there for those guys, and that's awesome. They kept it in. And, you know, I was kind of, you know, disheartened where he's like, oh, I think it's that podcast. So we're just giving a hard time. But that was cool to see, too, that some poor bastard lost his beer and his koozie in Beaver Lake, and they caught it. But anyways, I don't have too much. Going to be a busy summer. Going to be an interesting summer. But we got a few more weeks here to finish strong. We're going to have a lot of fun playing golf. Probably talk about Knoxville again. Hang out with the boys. But obviously, man, be grateful for the time. It seems like it has been a rough year on people closely associated to us and to what we do, having a loved one or somebody pass away. You never know when the good Lord's going to call you home, and you got to enjoy the moments and the times you got, because that certainly is a big thing. So
that's right.
Plan that vacation, plan that long weekend, spend the time, do all that good stuff. But, man, it'll be good to have Big Fella back.
Yes, sir.
Because he does provide some good laughs. He did provide some good laughs for us at the start of the show at his expense. But he doesn't listen to it. So what can you say? You know, he says he lives it. So we'll see what happens. And I'm sure he'll be full of piss and vinegar when he gets back with the
fully refreshed and recharged.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's going to be warm. I'm sure it's going to be warm next week, and it'll be
a tough week back for him.
I'm tired, boss. With that,
Dutchman out.